Welcome to Big Daddy Storytime. We're reading Thomas and Friends, Blue Mountain Mystery. Hey, can you see Thomas there smiling at us saying, "Hi everybody, hi! Would you like to read a story about the Blue Mountain Mystery?" And we would say, "Yes, of course, Thomas. Read us the story." Okay, here's the story about the Blue Mountain Mystery. It was a busy day at the Blue Mountain Quarry. Rusty shunted trucks of slate. Owen moved equipment up and down the rocky walls. Because of the steep hills and tight turns at the quarry, the engines that worked there were smaller and lighter than other engines. They had special tracks and were called narrow gauge engines. Paxton, a visiting diesel, was impressed by how hard all the narrow gauge engines worked. "If your wheels aren't whirling," said Sharkly, "you're not being really useful." Wow, can you see all the engines there? Wow, I'm sure they're all really useful. Excellent job for spotting all the engines, my friends. Suddenly there was a loud noise. Giant stones were falling from Blondin Bridge. "Fenders and fireboxes," shouted Peter Sam. "The bridge isn't safe. No one must cross it." At that moment, Reneas was rolling down from the upper terrace. He tried to stop, but his heavy trucks pushed him towards the dangerous bridge. He sped up so he could race across the bridge before it collapsed. Reneas made it. The bridge thundered apart behind him as he skidded to a stop at the bottom of the hill. Everyone was relieved that the danger was over. Then they saw poor Paxton. He was buried under some fallen stones. He was all right there, but he was definitely in need of repairs. Can you see Paxton there? He's in need of repairs. And then there's Reneas. He made it across. Can you see all those engines, my friends? Great job for spotting that. Thomas was working hard with Annie and Clarabelle when Sir Topham Hatt drove up in Winston, the track car. "Thomas and I have a special job for you," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Paxton has been in an accident and must go to the diesel works for repairs. I need you to work at the quarry in his place." Thomas beamed from buffer to buffer. "I like working with my narrow gauge friends," he whistled. "Beep, beep, beep." Thomas quickly chugged to the Blue Mountain Quarry. The narrow gauge engines were happy to see him, too, and blew their whistles in welcome. "Beep, beep, beep." "Wow, hello, my friends," beeped Thomas. "I'm ready to huff my hardest. Just tell me what I need to do." Can you see Thomas there smiling? Oh, he's so happy to be at the quarry with his friends. Can you see that, my friends? Excellent job for spotting all that. You're so smart. The work at the quarry was hard but fun. Heavy loads of slate were carted down from the upper levels to the stone cutters and stone crushers on the lower levels. Thomas pitched in and hauled boulders from Sharkly. Suddenly a small green engine darted out of the tunnel. Thomas had never seen him before. "Hello! Beep, beep, beep!" beeped Thomas with a big smile. But the little green engine didn't answer. He quickly rolled into another tunnel. "Cinders and ashes," whistled Thomas. "How strange! I wonder who that little engine could be." Wow, can you see Thomas there going, "Hi, little engine?" But the little engine wasn't paying attention to Thomas. Can you see all that? Super spotting there, my friends. Later, Thomas asked Rusty about the little green engine. Rusty was quiet for a moment, then finally answered, I'm pretty sure it was a mountain goat." It wasn't a mountain goat," beeped Thomas. "It was an engine." The next morning, as Thomas puffed to the quarry, he saw the little green engine again. "Who are you?" Thomas asked. Without saying a word, the green engine puffed off. Thomas sped after him. Chug, 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 chug. "Go, Luke!" cried Sharkly as he and other narrow gauge engines rolled into position to block Thomas. Sharkly huffed Thomas. "Who is Luke? Why does he keep puffing away? Why will none of you talk to me about him? Thomas, you are our friend, said sharply, so we must trust you. The other engine whistled in agreement. Boop, boop, boop. Luke hides here at the Blue Mountain Quarry because he is scared, Sharkly said. Once, long ago, Luke did something very bad. He thinks if anyone finds him, he'll be sent away from Sodar forever. That's why we make sure he always stays hidden. Thomas promised to keep the secret in his tunnel, in his funnel, about Luke. That is. Can you see all that, my friends? Can you see Thomas there and his engine friends? And Thomas is whistling back beep beep because he's going to keep a secret about Luke, and we'll find out what that is in the next page here. When Thomas had finished working that night, he decided he needed some time to think, so he steamed to a quiet hill by himself. What did Luke do that was so bad? Thomas wondered aloud. Don't worry, Luke. I'll find a way to help you. But Thomas wasn't really alone. Someone was watching and hoping that Thomas couldn't find a way to help. Hoping that Thomas could find a way to help because without Thomas there wouldn't be a way to help. The next morning, as Thomas chuffed to work, Luke appeared by his side. There's Luke! There he is! Can you see Luke there? Oh, there he is! And Thomas is smiling right by him. Hi, Thomas, he said. I'm sorry I hid from you. I didn't know you, but now I wonder, will you be my friend? I like that, Luke, said Thomas. I'd like that very much. Beep, beep, beep. Wow, can you see Thomas there smiling saying, Luke, you're my buddy? And Luke is saying, oh, Thomas, you're my buddy too. Can you spot all that, my friends? Thank you for spotting that. Excellent work. Thomas and Luke worked together at the boulder drop all day. That's what best friends do. They work together. Luke dropped giant rocks down the chute, and Thomas collected the broken gravel at the bottom. Suddenly a horn honked. Honk! Winston had arrived carrying Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Parville, the controller of the narrow gauge railway. Luke quickly hid. Thank you for your work, Thomas, said Mr. Parsival, that is. Paxton will now take over again. Can you see Thomas there going, oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Sir Topham Hatt. Hi, Mr. Parsival. But hey, how's everything going? Can you see that? Can you see Thomas there smiling back at him? Excellent job. When Winston had motored away, Thomas asked Luke why he felt he had to hide. I did something very bad, said Luke. I've done bad things too, beep Thomas. Beep, beep, beep. Once again I steamed right past a danger sign and fell into a mine, and I'm still here. And Luke giggled. The two friends were so busy talking that they didn't hear Paxton puff up behind them. Paxton listened quietly as Luke told his story. I first came to the island of Sodar on a boat, said Luke. Next to me was a little yellow engine. He was chained to the deck like I was. He had come from far away. A storm blew in and the ship was tossed around on the waves. My chains rattled something fierce. The little yellow engine was scared. He spoke a strange language. I didn't understand. I wanted to assure him, but I didn't know how. We finally reached Sodar, but the little yellow engine still looked scared. The dock workers wanted to lift him off right away, but I pleaded to be first. They agreed, and I was happy. But then I bumped into the little yellow engine and sent him splashing into the sea. Paxton couldn't believe what he heard. He raced off to tell Diesel. An idea flew into Thomas's funnel. I know what I'll do, said Thomas. I'll find out what happened to that little yellow engine. Maybe he's at the Diesel Works. Thomas reached the Diesel Works just as Paxton finished telling Diesel the story. Thomas was shocked. No one else was supposed to know about Luke and the little yellow engine. We have to tell Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Percival, said Diesel. They'll make Luke leave forever. Thomas was worried. He had to find that little yellow engine before Diesel could get Luke in trouble. Can you see Thomas there figuring out, uh-oh, Diesel had been told about Luke's story. Can you see that? Great job for spotting that. Thomas chuffed to the steamworks, where Victor was hard at work. Victor, do you remember fixing a little yellow engine that fell into the sea? Thomas asked. Victor stopped working immediately. His eyes were wide with surprise. Thomas suddenly understood. Cinders and ashes, whistled Thomas. You were the engine that fell into the sea. You are right, Thomas, said Victor. It was me. Wow, that's pretty cool. Can you see Thomas there figuring out the mystery that the little yellow engine is actually Victor? Wow, great job for spotting that. Victor's story about his trip to the island of Sodar was the same as Luke's, except for one important detail. During the storm, a big wave broke the chains holding my wheels, Victor said. Nothing held me to the dock. I called to the crew, but they didn't understand me. No one could help me. I barely made it to the dock, Victor went on, and when they lifted the excited green engine, he swayed and bumped into me. I slid into the sea because there was no chains to stop me. When Cranky finally fished me out, I was in a terrible state. Can you see Cranky there lifting Victor out of the water? Well, he's actually the little yellow engine at that point, huh? Can you see Cranky there lifting the little yellow engine out? You can see that? Super job. So it was all an accident? Beep, Thomas. Beep, beep. Are, you were repaired? Yes, replied Victor. I chose to be painted red, a bright new color for my bright new life. I will tell Luke, said Thomas. Beep, beep. Is Luke the little green engine? Asked Victor. Yes, said Thomas, and he needs your help. Later that day, Diesel and Paxton found Luke at the Blue Mountain Quarry. Luke rolled up the narrow gauge tracks where Thomas, Diesel, and Paxton's standard gauge wheels couldn't follow. You can run, but you can't hide, shouted Diesel. Sir Topham Hatt is on his way. He's going to kick you off Sodar. Thomas can't save you now. Can you see Luke there? Oh, Thomas is going to help Luke. He's going to make Luke and have everything done right. And poor Diesel, he's not being a very good friend. Can you see all that, my friends? Excellent job. Yes, I can, beeped Thomas as he sped into the quarry. Beep, beep. The narrow gauge engines were mad because they thought Thomas had revealed Luke's secret. Thomas didn't have time to explain. Rocky, please lift me onto Owen's platform. I have to talk to Luke. Hold on tight, shouted Rocky, and he hoisted Thomas up as high as he could, but it wasn't high enough. Thomas needed Owen's help to climb higher up the quarry's rocky mountain walls. Owen was nervous about lifting the heavy engine. With a crack and a grunt and a crack, Owen's platform started to rise. Thomas went higher and higher until he reached the top of the incline. Upper Terrence, shouted Owen. Boulder Drop and Blondin Bridge. Well done, Thomas beeped. But there was a problem. Beep, beep. Thomas's wheels were too big for the narrow gauge tracks. They skidded and jumped off the rails. Thomas rolled towards the edge of the cliff. Help! Thomas beep, beep, beep. Just then Luke came around the bend. Watch out, Thomas, cried Diesel. He's going to push you off just like he did to that yellow engine. Diesel's not being a very good friend. Luke and Thomas are the best friends, though. Everyone waited. They watched as Luke slowly rolled toward Thomas. Don't worry, Thomas, said Luke. I'll pull you back to Owen. Luke buffeted gently up to Thomas and slowly but surely pulled him back towards the platform. I told you Luke and Thomas were the best of best buddies. Look, Luke is helping Thomas. Great job, Luke. You're doing it, Luke, whistled Thomas. Beep, beep. Luke felt stronger than he had ever felt before. Oh, that's so great. Luke got Thomas safely to Owen's platform, but the weight of the two engines together was too much for Owen. The platform began to drop straight down. "Wha!" cried Luke. "Cinders and ashes!" shouted Thomas. "You're too heavy!" Owen grunted as he tried to slow the platform. Owen strained and struggled and worked his hardest. Gears whined, sparks flew. Owen stopped the platform before it hit the ground. Phew. Thomas and Luke were safe. The engines all whistled and cheered, beep, beep, woo, 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 except for Diesel, who scowled. Again, Diesel's not being a good friend. Just then Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Parsival arrived. They were confused and more than a little angry. "Thomas, what are you doing here?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "Rocky, bring those engines down from the unloading platform." Little Luke was scared. Everyone held their breath. "That engine up there is called Luke," said Diesel. "He's a bad engine. He pushed a little yellow engine into the sea. Thomas has been hiding him up here." "It's not like that at all, sir." Thomas beep, beep, beep. "I can explain." But Thomas didn't have to say another word. Victor steamed into the quarry. Everyone was very surprised to see him. "I have come here to meet an engine I have not seen in a very long time," Victor puffed. "My name is Luke." And his name is Luke, that is. Oh, can you see Victor there? Looking for Luke. Luke and Victor are being reunited. How cool that is. Rocky set Luke down. The little green engine was scared. "Luke, you didn't push me," Victor said. "I slipped off. My wheel chains had broken. It was an accident." "Oh, how cool, the mystery is solved now. Look, it's Victor and Luke, and they're best friends, just like Luke and Thomas are best friends." That's great, my friends, for spotting all that. "But it can't be you. You're not a yellow engine," Luke said. "I was yellow," Victor explained, "but I was painted red when Sir Topham Hatt had me repaired. You should come down and visit me at the steamworks. You can also get a coat of paint and a polish, and you will be a new engine too." Luke laughed. For the first time in a long time, he was truly happy. Hey, can you see Victor there? And Luke and Thomas, they're bestest best friends forever. Sir Topham Hatt was very upset with Diesel. Yes, he was not a good friend at all. "You didn't find out the whole story before you caused confusion and delay," he said. "It's always important to find out what really happened, because what really happened is what really matters," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Well done, Thomas," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Today is a happy day for Mr. Percival and all his engines. Thomas has made it a very happy day, sir," Luke said. "He's my hero and my friend." "We must all be very proud of all our engines," said Mr. Percival. "You are all really useful." Thomas and all his friends, new and old, whistled happily. Beep, beep, ooh, 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 beep, beep. Can you see that, my friends? Can you see Thomas and Luke and Victor and all of the useful engines in Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Parsival? You can see all of that, my friends. Excellent job for spotting that. Great work. What have we learned today, my friends? We learned from Thomas and his engine friends that we are all really useful engines when we care for others. Have a super day, my friends. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Big Daddy Storytime. God bless.